Hi, I'm Donna. Today's class is to really get the energy flowing, and we're going to use a chair, and you don't have to. So, if you can put your hands comfortably on the floor and step forward and back to the front and back of the mat, don't worry about the chair, but it might help. There's going to be a tricky balance. I've got a strap, and you don't have to have a strap, it can just be a hand towel or something, but to hold your foot if you can't quite reach your feet, and a blanket for comfort, whatever else you like to have at home in your practice. So we're going to start laying down, and since I've got the chair, we'll put our feet up. So if you don't have the chair, just put your feet on the floor, hip width. Otherwise, support right to the back of the knee. And giving your back the weight of your body to the floor. And then you can just let your legs be relaxed onto your support. Find your breath. And then just bringing your knees into your chest. And rocking a little from side to side. Good. And then rolling gently to your right side and coming up onto all fours. Just taking a moment for a cat stretch. Arching the spine up and down, but also wriggling a little from side to side, just waking up the muscles along the spine. Good, and tuck your toes under and press your sit bones back to your heels. Stretching forward. Great. And then walk forward, and if you're using the chair, you can use that to help you come up. And we're going to stand up, have the feet under the hips, and reach forward into a forward bend. Bend your legs. Just check in with how your spine feels. You can rest your head on your chair if you've got that there. Or else just hanging forward. Good, and then wiggle the ribs again a little from side to side. We're trying to lengthen the sides of the waist. Reach the breastbone forward, see how you go, straightening your legs. Maybe you can straighten one leg and then the other. Good, and then rolling up, bring your hands onto your knees. Okay, steer your bottom back rather than your knees forward. So try and keep your knees over your ankles, feet are under your hips. Good, and arch your spine forward and back and find the best position for your spine so you don't feel compressed in your lower back and you can feel you're using your front core to support. Good, and we're going to take knees around in circles. See what goes on with your feet. See if you can keep all your toes onto the floor. Just rolling around your ankles, other direction. Toes have a mind of their own. Good. And then bring your hands down onto your chair. We're going to walk the feet to the back of the mat and lift right up onto the ball of one foot and bend that knee, and then the other. and press them down. Good. And if you're not using your chair, you can be in downward facing dog pose here, so hands onto the floor. Good. And then we're going to press both heels, lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, the sit bones. Good. Bring the shoulders over the wrists for plank position. See if you can try and keep your heels as close to the floor as you can, but we're going to bring the hips in line with the heels and the shoulders, lift the breastbone, but keep that sense that you're not compressing your lower back. So strong front core. Good. And then as you exhale, pressing your hips back again, downward facing dog pose. Letting the armpits lengthen, the chest be wide, the collarbones wide. Good, and we're going to bring the shoulders over the wrists again, press the heels so we're in plank position again, attending to your spine, let it feel long, the front core powerfully supporting. And we're going to pick the right knee up and bring it up to the right elbow. Good, see if you can lower the knee to the wrist, maybe even a little bit lower under the seat of the chair, and up to the elbow, and to the wrist, and to the elbow, and to the wrist, and to the elbow, and to the wrist. Good, and then step that foot back. Good, so plank pose. We're lengthening the lower back, strong in the front core. Press your heels to the floor. Lift up your left knee, bring that up to the elbow. Good, and then the wrist, maybe even a little bit lower. Elbow, wrist, elbow, wrist, elbow. One more. Keep holding the front core nice and strong, and then both feet back. Downward facing dog pose. Wide across your chest and collarbones, relaxed in your neck. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps. Good. And you're going to just walk forward a little. Bring your right knee up onto the seat of the chair. And we're going to wiggle the left foot across. So this is for preparation for pigeon pose. So if you're not using the chair, you do this same thing but on the floor. Good. And then you slide if you have a slidey chair. So we're trying to bring the hips level to the floor. And you can use the sides of the chair or the back of the chair to just make the back bend that you need. Good. Without squashing the lower back. So press back through the back heel, looking up. Whole spine looks up. Good. And then use the chair to help you press that foot all the way back, downward facing dog pose. Okay, walk into a comfortable position so you can put your left knee onto the seat of the chair. Scoot your left toes in front, or your foot in front of your right hip, and then let the left knee slide forward so you can bring the hips a little closer to the floor. Keep them square, press the back heel. Good. Use your chair to help you lift the chest. Straighten the back leg. Whole spine looks up. Keep your hands as relaxed as you can. Good. And then we're going to press both feet all the way to the back of the mat. So walk back, downward facing dog pose. Good, and then come into plank position, so bring the shoulders forward over the wrist, but try to keep the heels pressing down. Good, we're going to lengthen the front of the thighs, lift the front of the hips, but lengthen the lower back, draw the shoulder blades back. Good, and then a little chaturanga, so you're going to bend your elbows, but don't bend at the waist. Just see if you can bring the chest a little closer to the front of the chair. And pressing back up. Good, and chest just a little closer to the front of the chair, just bending the elbows, good, and pressing back up. You might just go a little way. Keep the hands as relaxed as you can. Good, and hips go back towards the back of the mat. Nice and wide. Across your chest. Back of the neck relaxed. Throat relaxed. Press the heels. Press the outside edges of your feet to the floor, the inside edges of the feet to the floor. Good. And then we're going to step the right foot forward and come into Trikonasana. So lift your left heel, press the heel down onto the floor. And the chair's there to help you with your balance. But if you don't need it, you can put your right hand down onto your right leg. So we're going to turn the torso. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps, lengthen the spine, and reach up with your left arm. Find in your body where you can lengthen. Where you can stand with more ease. Good foundation. Breathe deeply. Good, and then you're going to sweep your left arm all the way forward towards the chair. Turn to look at the chair. Bring both hands down. Good, and we're going to step the right foot back. Downward facing dog pose. And left foot forward. So Trikonasana to the right side. Turn your right heel down onto the floor. Good. You have your balance. Lift your kneecaps. Strong legs. Start to reach the right hip back. Drawing the tailbone forward, but we want to keep the length in both sides of the waist. The whole length of the spine. Turning the rib cage. Reach up with your right arm. Good, and then sweep your right arm all the way forward. So you're reaching towards either the floor or to the chair. Stepping the left foot back, downward facing dog pose. Good. Stepping your right foot forward, this time for Virabhadrasana 2 or Warrior 2. You need a big distance between your feet and you bend your right knee, lift the torso so that the right knee is on top of the right ankle. Good, and we press into the outside edge of the left foot, the inside edge of the left foot, lift that inner arch, lift the kneecap. We're lengthening the lower back, looking for that easy length in the sides of the lower back, the sides of the waist. Draw the front core in to support the back core, lengthen the spine, relax your shoulders. We're going to reach the arms out from the heart, reach right back through your left fingertips, looking over your right fingertips. Good, and then reaching your left arm all the way forward to the front of the mat, so either hands onto the floor or onto the chair, and stepping your right foot back, downward facing dog pose. Good, take it as an opportunity to lengthen again the sides of the waist, to make space around your heart, your throat, relax your face. Inhale, exhale, left foot forward, Virabhadrasana 2. So turn your right heel down. Good, and then we lift the torso as perpendicular as you can to the floor. Bring the thigh bone as parallel to the floor as your hips allow, your knees allow. Press into the outside edge of the right foot, the inside edge. Lift the inner arches of the feet. Watch the left knee, it probably wants to roll forward. We're easing that back to the little toe side of the foot. Shoulders relaxed. Use the front core to support the back core. Powerful lift of the pelvic floor. Good, and then reach your right arm all the way forward, either hands down onto the floor, onto your chair, and stepping back, downward facing dog pose. Good. And then bend your knees and walk in towards the chair. We're going to hang forward again into Uttanasana. If you really don't need that, it's in the way. Of course, just hang where you need to. Feet are under the hips, so legs are parallel, feet are parallel. Press the outside edge of the feet, inside edge of the feet. Lift the arches, lift the kneecaps, the quadriceps, lift the sit bones, but lengthen the belly and relax the lower back, the sides of the waist, your upper back, your neck. Good. And then we're going to roll up. Bring your arms up. Look up. And as you exhale, Tadasana. Great. Now stand with your feet together. We're going to stand onto the right leg. So I'm going to take my left leg up onto the chair, left foot up onto the chair. But I'm going to keep my legs pretty parallel, feet facing forward. Good. And you're going to bring your right hand onto the outside of the left knee and the left hand onto the sacrum. Good. Now if you can reach deeper, you've got your balance. You can take your right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bring your hands into prayer position. In front of the heart, lift the breastbone, turn the ribs, looking back over your left shoulder. Make sure you're not collapsing in the standing foot, so really lift that inner arch of the right foot. Stretch the toes. Good, and then release. Good, and swap sides. So we keep the legs pretty parallel here, feet face forward. And you can either take your left hand to the outside of your right knee, your right hand onto your sacrum, turning the ribcage, turn to look over your right shoulder. And of course, your shoulders are down, your neck is long and relaxed. If you've got a little bit more room to move here, take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Bring the hands into prayer position in front of your heart, turning to look over the right shoulder. Good, so watch that standing leg. We tend to collapse the inner arch, so try and lift there. You're trying to lift the inner ankle bone away from the floor. Strong leg, long spine. Good, and then release. We're going to swap legs again. Okay, so you're going to repeat. But if you want to go a little further, if you really have your balance here, you don't need the chair, you're going to take hold of your foot. And reach your left arm back. So we turn to the left side, straight legs. Of course, don't do this if it's beyond your reach. Really strong in your standing leg. Good, and then release. Right leg up. Woohoo. Good. So repeating, either left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand onto the sacrum. If you want to go for that big balance, you're holding onto the outside edge of your foot with your left hand. Good. Straightening your leg. Turning the ribs. Reaching back with your right arm. Strong in your standing leg. Good, and then release. Take the arms up, look up. And as you exhale, Uttanasana. Either resting onto the chair or resting where you need to. Hold on to your elbows. Just pop your thumbs in the elbow creases. Let your arms be nice and heavy. Good. Lift your kneecaps, your quadriceps. Your feet are parallel, of course. Toes lengthening. Kneecaps lifting. Good, and then bend your knees and inhale and roll up. Good, and as you exhale, we're going to lay down onto the floor, onto our bellies, and the chair will be useful for a stretch for the shoulders. So you can hold on to the legs of the chair wherever it's comfortable for your shoulders, hands up onto the seat of the chair, and just letting the head hang forward. So we want to get the armpits as long as possible, so just position your hands where you need to. Space around your heart, keep the collarbones wide, the shoulder blades wide. Good, and then bring your hands underneath your shoulders and lift the breastbone off the floor. We're going to look up, draw the shoulder blades back. Good, and then pressing up into cat stretch or fours. Finding not just the forward and back or the up and down movement, but that side to side of the spine. Good, and then we're going to lay down on our backs and put the feet up onto the chair. And if you don't have your chair, you can just have your feet onto the floor. A strap might be useful if you can't reach. If you find when you get in position you run out of room, you can put your strap around the front of the chair like that and you'll be able to hold on, but you can also hold your mat. So lay in as close as you can get to the chair and put your feet onto the seat of the chair or the front of the chair and hold either the legs of the chair or the side of your mat or your strap. And we're going to lift the hips. And you want to make it your posture. So you just take what you need. It's looking at how high you can lift the breastbone. Obviously you don't want to make your neck uncomfortable, so keep the back of the neck long, the throat nice and relaxed. But if you use your feet, press them onto the chair, lift the front of the thighs, lift the front of the hips. Good, and then you might be able to hold that and just relax the hold of your hands. So your shoulders feel like they're in a neutral position. Good, you might even be able to fit your hands in underneath your back waist, support the pelvis. Try to keep your elbows in about shoulder width, not too wide. Don't do this if it's too strong on your wrists or your hands. Good. And then release slowly. Okay, hug your knees into your chest. I'm rocking a little from side to side. Good. Okay, we don't need that prop off the chair anymore, so you can get that out of the way. But your strap or something to help you hold your foot will be handy. And you want to lay down with room either side of you on your mat. So we're going to take the legs out there. Good. Lay down flat. Unless you feel like you're squashing the back of your neck to reach your head onto the floor. If that's the case, take a blanket or a pillow and put that under your head. We're going to press out through the soles of the feet. Good. Hug in your left leg. And get as close to your leg as you can. Relaxing your belly. Good. You're going to try and keep your knee close into your torso and bring the sole of your left foot so that it's parallel to the ceiling. So you're in a deep knee bend. But do try and keep your ankle, your knee, and your hip in one plane, so not out to the side. Good. And if you can't reach your foot, that's where the strap is really useful. And we're going to put it around the ball of the foot and keep your toes nice and long and in one plane so they're not curling around. Good. And when you use the strap, it's a bit like using the chair. We're using something awkward with the hands to help, and the hands are so helpful, but try to be really relaxed with the way that you use them here. So your shoulders can be relaxed and wide, chest wide, heart spacious. Good, and then we're going to straighten the leg. You won't get the benefit of lengthening the hamstring if your leg is bent. So that's where a strap is really useful, because you can let your leg out as far as you need to get it really, really straight. Remember, relaxed hands, relaxed torso, face and throat. Okay, have a look at your toes against something on the ceiling and see if you can bring them a little further overhead. We're trying not to do that in a pushing or pulling way, but thinking about that connection at the front of the left hip, the space at the front of the hip crease, where you can relax the belly a little more, keeping your leg as straight as you can. Good, and then you're going to take both sides of your strap into your left hand. And the left leg's going to start to move towards the floor on the left. But we want to keep the right side of the body really anchored. So you want to press the right core, the right thigh, the right hip. Keep your leg as straight as you can and just let it go out as far as it will for you. Some people might go close to the floor, not me. We'll try and keep both shoulders onto the floor, the face relaxed, the throat relaxed, leg as straight as you can. Remember, long toes, try to keep them in one plane. Where can you open just a little more? Good. And then coming back up to center, hold your strap into the right hand this time. And we're going to bring the leg across the body to the right side, but keep your left sacrum onto the floor. So the hips stay level to the floor. Good, straighten your legs as much as you can, long toes. Okay, same thing, where is the resistance? Where can you just give in to the movement a little more? Hollowing the left belly. Right toes stay pointing straight up to the ceiling. Great, and for a nice big twist to finish with, we're going to let the leg come all the way down to the floor. So reach back with your left arm, and we're going to take the right foot down onto the floor and turn back to look over your left shoulder. You can let your right leg turn with you, the hips turn. Relaxing your shoulders, your belly, your back. Good, and then coming back up to center. Great, and take the strap off, hug that knee in. And then let that leg out. Just let both legs roll to where it feels natural for them. Close your eyes. Observe the different sensation from your left hip to your right hip. Left leg to your right leg. Good. And then we're going to press out through the soles of both feet. And hug your right knee in. And again, we're looking for opportunity to let that movement happen rather than trying to force it. Try and keep your knee as close to your chest as you can and bring the sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling. So you've got a deep bend in your leg. And if you can't reach to support, you can use your strap and put it around the ball of your foot. We're going to lengthen out through the toes. Let the thigh be heavy. The belly relaxed. Shoulders relaxed. Good. And then bring your leg to straight. And remember, you can let it all the way out if you've got a strap there, so that you can get your leg really straight. And then see if there's a little room to move. Bringing the toes a little further towards the line of your shoulders, maybe towards the line of the top of your head. Great. And then take both sides of the strap into your right hand and anchor the left side of the body. So the left core, the left thigh, the left hip, and as straight as you can with the right leg, you're going to start to let it move towards the floor on the right side. And find any possibility to let yourself open into the posture a little more. Letting go a little more. Good, and then bring your leg back up and swap the strap into the opposite hand. Make a little room for the leg to reach across your body this time to the left side, so right leg's moving to the left. We keep the sacrum, both sides of the sacrum, flat onto the floor. So let the right belly hollow. Keep your leg as straight as you can. Keep the toes as long as you can in one plane. Keep the left toes pointing up to the ceiling if you can here. Just keep making room. But the sacrum stays onto the floor. Use the weight of the leg. Just let it make space. Good, and then we're going to finish off with a twist. So let the foot go all the way down to the floor. You might want to reach back with your right arm, looking over your right shoulder. You can let your left leg roll with you. And then coming back up to center. And hug that leg in. And let both legs out. Just make sure you've got length in your lower back, shoulder blades, relax towards your back waist. You might like to use a blanket for the relaxation under your thighs, under the back of your head, your neck. Or just give the weight of your body to the floor. Stay for as long as you like here. Tuning into the sensations in the body. And take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.